Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is going to be something definitely fun, different, interesting. I've got some incense going here to kind of just add some nice light and positive energy to the Demon Tarot. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Never would you think, or would I have thought, that I would do this or something like along these lines. It's, if you ask friends or people in my life, they would be like, what? She's doing what? A Demon Tarot? But yes, I am. Oh, the incense fell anyways, and that's okay. So, what am I doing here with the Demon Tarot? What the heck is the Demon Tarot? Okay. So, the Demon Tarot is actually a tarot deck that encompasses a bunch of different types of demons. Now, for myself, I've been doing a lot of shadow work the past few years and have ultimately moved into this space of no longer being afraid of the shadow side or the dark, because essentially, this entire aspect and experience of life encompasses both the dark and the light, the shadow side too. And when we're not afraid of the shadows and we can see them for what they are, then we're able to transcend, those darker periods of our life with more wisdom, with more grace, with more understanding. So I've got a few different things going on here, and so I don't want you to be alarmed. First off, please like, subscribe, comment. Please share this if you know that this might be helpful for anybody else. I want to focus on, not just love readings, not just all light, because the truth is that it separates a lot of people that are actually having struggles or challenges in their life. I did a Tower Tarot pick a card for those who have gone through the Tower lately in their life. You'll see that in the July readings too. But kind of my idea with this is to use this deck, this demon deck, to help you feel through what are the demons in your life that might be holding you back. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. Okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that with using the tarot. Okay. And I'm also going to give you some advice through using this beautiful Work Your Light Oracle to help bring some balance. Okay, so this might be intense. This is the first time I've touched this deck. It's the first time I'm working with this deck. I already feel the energy is really buzzing. It's a heavier energy. It's something that, I feel like everything needs to be respected. This deck was gifted to me amongst, the other decks that I shared, the Robin Wood, the Golden Tarot, and the Rider White. This one was gifted to me, and there's also another deck that I will use in the coming days that looks like fun too. But just to give you an example, you can see all of these demon creatures in here, and I really don't know a lot about demons. It's just the absolute truth. So what I'd like you to do is potentially pause the video if you need to. Okay, just ground yourself, remembering we're not inviting in any energies of fear here. This is just to kind of observe what kind of energy or type of negative energy, which might be in our own mental landscape or the landscape of those around us, so that we can transcend it, so we can work with it, so we can learn from it. Okay, so your choices are 1, 2, or 3. If you feel like this doesn't resonate at all, let it go. And remember, always seek professional help, wisdom, guidance, that type of thing. This is not appropriate for little kids. This is probably not even appropriate for teenagers. This is not appropriate for people with bad anxiety that have a tendency towards being afraid. Unless this is a place where you're ready to work with your shadow side and you feel like you can transcend that. I'm going to use these as the overall energy of the deck, and I'm actually going to look in the book and read stuff with you guys to see, because I don't know about demons really that much. Maybe perhaps my own demons, But you know what I mean? Like that I can spell out in terms of like the challenging stuff. That one's supposed to come out because it keeps trying to come out. So I'm just going to shuffle these. There's going to be timestamps below. Feel free, okay, to just fast forward to your reading. Again, if you haven't liked or subscribed or left me a comment to say, hey, I'm one of the viewers that's on here, then please do so. Also, information for a private read will be below, okay? Information for a private read will be below, as well as a link for a pick a card. So a free pick a card, that is. So if you're interested in having a card pulled for you, specifically for you, fill out the form. It doesn't cost anything. There's options to proceed to like reads that you can buy, but the pull is like totally free. All right, my dears. So thank you. Much love, appreciation for being here. All right. So I'm going to add now for those of you who chose, we're asking for highest insight. We're asking for guidance. We're asking for protection. We're asking just to be illuminated as to traits, environment, circumstances, mental blocks that are, you know, surrounding or physical or just challenges that might be in people's lives right now that are preventing them from moving forward to their highest capacity. So we're going to pull a couple more cards for number one. Okay. Whoa. So these, and I'm not going to read like the full Monty like of what each one of them is. I'm just going to pull each a couple cards. We'll read the general read, and I might look up from the book something more specific, see how I feel, or I might just go with the so 1, 2, 3, 4. I might just go with like following it up to try and get better understanding from the tarot. What demons are holding you back in your life right now? Understanding that dealing with the shadow side, working with it, like understanding what it is and not being afraid of it, like ultimately fear is the killer. You know what I mean? When you're afraid, you're in a vibration of fear, and that's when, you know, things aren't good. The opposite of love is fear. So for those of you that are just joining, I am doing a what demons are holding you back spread. This is a little on the shadowy side. So if this is scary for you, then please be mindful. Sometimes I use potty language, just throwing that out there. Try and remember not to. This is not appropriate for children. So if you have small children around, then not going to be appropriate. I see people are like clicking on and clicking right off. My people are like, what is she doing? What the heck is this? This is not like her. Okay, so the overall energy for the read, for everybody involved, we have, and I don't know how to pronounce these demons, so Burr is president. Okay, we'll let you see this guy. Creepy. Wow, he's creepy. Okay, Burr is president of hell with 50 military units under his command. Demonographers describe him as either taking the shape of a Sagittarius or having the head of a lion and 5 legs. All right. Well, maybe the demon in your life is a Sagittarius. I am a Sagittarius. Just saying. Maybe this card was to show me that I am my own demon. But really, you know, for some of you too, I think some of you like might be in the military or might be working in the military or might be under some kind of commandment, potentially, like wherever you work, where there is just this type of energy that's like in control and keeping you. I don't know. I don't really know what he does. We're going to have to look into more of what he does, but he doesn't look altogether friendly. But also creepy enough to get past the fear. Just kind of like, okay, all right, dude. I mean, I'm a Sagittarius. Someone on here, you're Sag Moon. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we have that potential to be like half human, half beast. This demon is like, well, he's the president. He's the president of hell. That's got to be a really weird kind of job to have. So overall energy. So we're working with these demons. Brooms is also the overall energy. You see that right there. Brooms. Brooms are an old and powerful symbol and tool of witchcraft. They are traditional vehicles for magical travel, essential elements of various rituals, and useful for sweeping up dust. I'm a little more confident in my association with the brooms. Magical things and sweeping up the dust and just cleaning up and having a vehicle for travel. Definitely feel a little on the lighter side, but I'm going to stay open, especially since Sagittarius was mentioned in this. The last one is Andras, and it was like one that came out, and then I was like, I'm putting this back in. And then it was at the bottom of the deck. I saw it again, and then I still tried to put it back in and shuffle it again, and it came out. So this demon definitely wants to be acknowledged in the reading. It's Andras, is Marquis of Hell. In command of 30 military units, he carries a pointed sword and rides a large black wolf. Demonologists describe him as having the body of an angel with the head of an owl. Interesting. So I actually had this experience so my kids are 14 and 15 now. When my kids were like 1 year old and not even 1 and 2, like months old or close to 1. Yeah, I guess Damien was close to 1 and Lucas was 2. I had this really crazy experience where I was in my room, and I've been one of those people that's seen those who have passed on. I've had like a lot of portals open, and I've seen a lot of crazy shit in my life. Okay. I was terrified. I was like one of those haunted children that was just like terrified all the time of what I was seeing. And I saw a lot of beautiful things, and I saw a lot of creepy things too. A lot of kids do. I didn't fully lose that. I've definitely protected my energetic space to not have so many dark experiences. Very rarely now do I experience seeing anything like that, other than like energies of people if they're not in a good space. But yeah, so what I saw was I put ear oil in. I remember this. I put garlic ear oil in because I felt like I had an ear infection. And it was the craziest sensation of that oil going through inside my ear. It felt like it was just moving all the way through my brain. And a lot of spooky stuff had been happening. This is going back a lot of years ago, probably like 13 years ago. And at the end of my bed, like close to the bedroom door, I saw this like being with an owl head. And I was like just so terrified. So terrified. I was super creeped out. I'm not going to lie. Even with all the meditation and the spiritual whatever, at that point in time, I was scared. And there was like, the kids' room, all the little musical things would go off at night, and this creature just stood in the doorway and just stared at me. And I mean, I couldn't look at owls for years without being terrified of owls, to be quite honest. Now I think they're beautiful again, and I've learned to let go of a lot of my fear. And the fear is what kind of opens up the portals for a lot of things, especially negative entities or trapped souls or projections of our own mental landscape or nightmare type of energy in general. So, yeah, I guess like, and not saying that I don't even know if these demons are like based on real demons or if these are just like somebody made up demons. I don't really even know, but what I can say is I did have an experience with like some kind of being that was part owl, like an owl head on a body, and it scared the crap out of me for a lot of years. And now again, my whole point with doing this is that when we are not afraid of the shadow, it doesn't mean like, oh, let's just be crazy and stupid and have really intense energy so that we open up, the floodgates of hell. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everything needs to be respected. But when we can look, negativity in the face for what it is, or we can look anxiety in the face for what it is, or we can look, harsh energies and thoughts and unwell persons, for example, and understand that that's where they are, things are not so personal. And then that vibration of fear really diminishes. And then our vibration is higher. So you don't come in contact with things like this. Rarely, anyways. Whereas I did all the time when I was younger because I was terrified and I was very open. And I feel like a lot of people that watch my channel are sensitives, are empaths, are intuitives, are psychic, or are inquiring or have some type of, spiritual gifts. And I feel like acknowledging anxiety and fear and that vibration and helping to lend to the fact that we can balance the shadow with light, especially once we understand it better, that will help us move forward. So again, like our overall energy of this read is the Bureau, which is like this freaky, creepy, like he's the president of hell. What a job. The president of hell is here alongside, the energy of magic and broomsticks and sweeping up the dust, combined with this demon that comes in and looks like part angel and part owl. Okay, so this might be like also showing us that sometimes, and he is in command of 30 military units, and he carries a pointed sword and rides a large black wolf. So I don't know, like I'm not altogether getting like a really bad vibe from this guy. It's just like he's in command, like he's in high order. I have a thing for wolves, and he does have the angel wings on him, and he's not that scary. I don't find he's that scary. So I don't know. The only one that's super creeper so far is the one that's noted as a Sagittarius, which is my son, and someone on here has the Sagittarius moon. So I don't know. Maybe it's our own demons that we need to be aware of too. President of hell. I guess like we are the president of hell if you look at hell as a manifestation of what we project and what our thoughts are, right? Like a lot of the times we put ourselves in our own hell with our mental imprisoning. Not everyone, but definitely most of us have experienced that in some time. So for those of you just tuning in, I will timestamp below. So this is deck 1, this is deck 2, this is deck 3. If you chose deck 1, these are the demons that are holding you back from your highest potential. I'm going to flip these over. We're going to take a peek at them. And then what I'm going to do is pull a few tarot cards. And then I'm going to pull you a beautiful card from the Work Your Light Oracle to kind of contrast what is going on. Are we ready? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so group 1. Okay, he's kind of like super ugly, but cute. We have Ronov. So let's see what Ronov is. Ronov, also transcribed as Ron, is a Marquis of Hell, whose appearance is simply described by demonologists as monstrous. He is a gifted speaker in command of 19 military units. Okay, so a gifted speaker. Let's see here. Then you have Ganga Grama. Okay, Ganga Grama. Sorry, you can't see what I'm even showing you. I'm trying to be able to read and also show you this, but the print is so small, and maybe I need glasses. Ganga Grama may have been loosely based on some Hindu legends, but with much lost or changed in translation. He has, according to Colin de Plancy, 4 arms, and he carries a bowl and a fork. Okay, a bowl and a fork. And I'm just going to do like intuitive about this. I'm going to actually have to study this book, the Demon Tarot, to like go into depth about what these actual demons are. Maybe we'll read like one of them. The Ipes, okay? Ipes, also Iperos is a prince and duke of hell. With 36 military units under his commandment, he appears with the head and feet of a goose, the mane of a lion, and the tail of a hare. Interesting. And then you have Baal. Baal, compare Baal, is called the first king of hell by demonologists and has 66 military units under his commandment. He manifests wearing 3 heads, a cat, a frog, a crowned man with a hoarse voice. Okay, so these are supposed to be the demons that are holding you back. So like intuitively, what I get is these are, okay, either traits that aren't, being fully manifested in yourself, or things that, you're struggling with right now. So I think right now, some of you who chose this, this deck, you're struggling right now with speech, okay? Because he's supposed to be a good public speaker. So I feel like the focus right now is on speech. So some of you, there is somebody in your life right now that is really great at speaking their voice, but you're not standing in your own voice or in your own power. You're struggling with communicating brightly, okay? For some of you, also, it's like the issue right now is with food. So you have this fork and you have this plate. So for some of you, it might be imbalances around food. So perhaps eating too little, too much, not focused on eating what is healthy. Okay, so I don't know if that resonates with anybody. Again, just kind of let me know in the comments if you feel that this resonates. So communication, vocal, using your voice, and then struggle around diet, really, about like healthy eating. And for some of you, it's just overindulgence in food. The energy that I get from this appearing with the head and feet of a goose and the mane of a lion and the tail of a hare is not really being confident in what type of role you play. So sometimes adapting, the lion, sometimes being the hare, just like not really being confident in your authenticity about like how you show up in situations. This guy here, the first king of hell, basically. Manifest wearing 3 heads, a cat, a frog, and a crowned man with a horse wire. So I feel like you might have this kind of individual in your life, the king of hell. They have 3 faces, really hard to determine what's going on. And I feel like this one in particular is like an external force that's affecting you. Whereas these right here are basically saying, step into your voice, into your power, especially if you have like the king of hell in your periphery. It might be really challenging. And sometimes when people are depressed and aren't using their voice, they, become dependent on food or can sink into a depression and not eat enough. And you're just struggling right now, to find your more comfortable way of being, the more comfortable persona for you. And a lot of that comes from not feeling like you can speak your voice. So I encourage you to, you know, I mean, if you are dealing with a toxic individual, somebody, you know, with 3 faces, that's not optimal, right? Like, you don't want toxic situations or people. And of course, if this doesn't resonate, click off, you know, or check out one of the other piles. This is just general. Again, if you want a personal reading, click on the link below. It's the first time I've ever done anything with a demon deck. It was gifted to me, and I thought it might be a good opportunity to like open up the shadow side in a way that is more like, yeah, let's just take a look at it. Like, what demons are here? Okay. You are, you know, it's interesting. Like, I see you moving on to calmer waters. Interesting that there's 2 sixes here, the 6 of swords and the 6 of pentacles. So, you know, from this situation, and this place that you're at right now, you are moving forward. You have the 6 of pentacles showing up. So for some of you, the person that you're dealing with, the one with 3 heads, might be, you know, giving to you and making promises to you, but are, you know, feeding other people as well. And that might be hard for you to swallow. And it might be an opportunity to, you know, step in to your voice and to speak up instead of suppressing with food or isolating yourself and being depressed and not eating. Like, that's what I see. And just learning about your own authenticity, feeling free to speak your mind and be your own highest self. Again, like, the energy that's like ruling this is this energy here. So there's magic. There is, I feel like this demon might be even coming in to like show this energy of strength, you know, this energy of cutting out the stuff that doesn't serve you. And like, you have this vehicle to move forward and clean up the dust. And this dude here, you know, he's the president of hell. And you don't want to be dealing with the president of hell. And I feel for some of you, that is your own mental imprisoning. And some of you, you're actually dealing with a 3-faced person that's just not being legit. And that's holding you back. So stepping into your voice is going to help you hugely. And I see right here, you are moving to calmer waters. Let's get you an oracle to, you know, lighten up the energy here. It's the Work Your Light Oracle by Danielle Noel. And it's just so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Very light to contrast all these demons. We are in, you know, this dualistic plane, and it's not always peaches and rainbows and fuzzy good things, right? So you have this beautiful one here. The keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Okay, so just knowing in this, you have ancient ancestors. So these can be, you know, protective ancestors who have passed on. These can be, you know, the energy of healers throughout the planet, angels, saints, deities. But you have protection, and you have guidance, and you have help. You have those looking out for you right now. Okay, which is really beautiful. You're not alone. And stepping into your voice is also stepping into like speaking up about the things that are troubling or the things that are worrisome or painful. Okay, for those of you that are just joining who have chosen deck number 2, please like, subscribe, leave me comments below. Let me know if this resonates or not. The overall energy of the deck, remembering that tarot is just a source of, entertainment, insight. It's not to be taken over professional help or using your own discretion. This is just to help counteract the shadow side, okay? Please revert to the beginning of the video if you didn't already, okay, to learn about the 3 demons that are kind of the overall energy of the deck. So for those of you who chose deck number 2, the demons that you have are, let's see if you can see this right. Okay, he's creepy. Demas, also Demo, is based on an old sailor's tale of questionable veracity. She wears a crown and has 4 horns and 4 teeth. Her hands are strong and clawed, and her legs are those of a rooster. All right, an old sailor's tale, a crown and claws of a rooster. Okay, you have Flaveros, also transcribed as Flaros, okay, is a Duke of Hell and a Grand General with 20 military units under his command. He takes the form of a leopard, and even in human guise, his eyes are full of fire. You have Alistair. Okay, Alistair is the strict executionary who carries out the sentences passed down by the rulers of hell. The word Alistair may also refer to avenging spirit or to the personification of wrathful justice. Okay. And then we have here Skox, also Shax is a Marquis of Hell with 30 legions under his command. He appears as a stork with a rasping voice, but if summoned into Magical Triangle, his voice becomes clear and sweet. Okay, so the demons holding you back. So first off, what I feel like about this, like an old sailor's tale, is that some of the demons holding you back are like tales. Like you don't know if they're true or not. So they get your goat. You know what I mean? Like they get to you. You can't confirm whether or not it's true. It's like an old wives' tale that you've heard about, but there's like something's instilling fear. So something in your life that's going on right now, that you've heard that could potentially be gossip or something you were conditioned into believing but is not necessarily true, is preventing you from attaining your highest aspect of self right now. This guy here can be in the form of a leopard and even human, guys, but his eyes are full of fire. So I feel like somebody in your circle or somebody that you're dealing with in life that it's like, yeah, they might be showing up like they're human, but really their intention is selfish. It's not to give you what you want. They're being deceitful. They're showing up looking one way, projecting one thing about themselves when really they are the other thing. In some cases, this could be you, but I think for most of you, because like the energy of this starting off with like fear and, using this kind of broom to wipe up the dust and escape, the president of hell, and just having this kind of demon that like slices things out of their life that, no longer serve, part angel, like the wings are there and they're using the wolf and the sword, and owls really traditionally have like more of a spiritual meaning, even though I shared that personal scary story at the beginning of the video. I feel like for a lot of you, you're afraid of things that you've been told or feared into or conditioned into believing that you don't know are true. And somebody is just, not being forthright about who they really are in your situation. You're also potentially in this energy of somebody really trying to avenge against you, like trying to, like just with a vengeful spirit in them. like wanting this wrathful justice. So for some of you, you have an individual around you, or you have that energy inside you that's really stirring. You want to get justice and like at all costs, and it becomes like really intense anger and like rage and that type of thing. And it's just, taking over your potential to live in your highest light. That or somebody in your circle is coming at you with that kind of energy. Um, so this guy appears with a stork with a rasping voice. But if summoned into a magical triangle, his voice becomes clear and sweet. So I think one of the things holding you back is that you might just typically portray sometimes like negative language or a negative voice or a negative light about you, but when you're called into the right tribe, like into the right people, your voice can become very sweet and very angelic, and you can have these qualities of a very spiritual individual. But if you're not in the right environment, then that just doesn't happen. So I think for like a lot of you, you've been manipulated, feared, conditioned into certain things by persons that are claiming to be one thing, but they're really another. And there's either on your end or their end some kind of wrathful justice, and this energy is just really challenging. It's not going to help anybody. You yourself potentially could be quite negative, but in the right environment, like really beautiful, really spiritual. So you might want to be mindful for the people that you associate with. Okay, and make sure you protect your environment. Again, this is just lending light to the shadow aspect, and then we counteract it with light. I'm just going to pull a few tarot cards here for this group, and then pull you an oracle card. We're looking for some clarification on group number 2. Clarification for group number 2. Here we go. We got it. Okay, so this is really, really powerful. So for a lot of you guys, this manipulation could come over actually like a child in the mix. Like it could be a manipulative partner, that's been trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or a shady son, like a shady adult son for some of you guys, that's just, or a confused son, that's trying to pull the wool over your eyes and say one thing and do another. But for a lot of you, what this is just saying is the sun is coming out, especially in this situation, since there's this like wrathful judgment card in there. So for some of you, whatever is going on in that scenario, it's saying like the sun trumps everything else. So the sun is coming out. You're coming in as the Hierophant over the moon in reverse. Like, so secrets, the mysteries of the night, like the intuition has been a little low lately. Not really seeing as clearly, not being as intuitive as usually you are. But right now, the Hierophant is showing up. So it shows like you're wisening up. You're either being called to seek spiritual teachers and insight, or you yourself are just going into more of like a spiritual practice. The Hierophant can also be known as like the marriage card. So for some of you too, it's that this toxic kind of situation that's been happening, the person pretending to be one thing and being another. Even this first card kind of shouts to me that some people are in a manipulative relationship that's projecting, etc. And that's why like you're feeling negative right now, but you can be really sweet, in another environment. Sometimes, and of course this is going to be very few people, but for some that need to hear it, if you are in like some type of narcissistic or manipulative relationship, that they can just gaslight and drive you crazy. to the point that, like, yeah, of course, if you stay in that toxicity, you're going to be negative. And of course, when you're around healthy people, you will behave that way. It's like that anyways, no matter what. You have the Oracle from the Work Your Light Oracle. The card that you received is take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So for some of you, this is like, you know, take a time out from the situation, whatever this is, whatever this mental hardship is, whatever this situation is. For some, it might be like take a break from this relationship. For some, it's like take a break from this job. For some, it's like take a break from your own mental anguish. But yeah, it's like take a break. Get off the treadmill, like stop, look how she's walking into those luminous, beautiful waters, and just like reconnect to your spirituality, the Hierophant too, like opportunity to seek spiritual guidance, higher wisdom, okay? For those of you who chose deck number 3, again, please like, subscribe, comment. These are general readings. They're not going to resonate with everybody, so go ahead and click off if it doesn't. Otherwise, check some of the other piles or some of the lighter kind of reads and stuff like that that I have on my channel. This is the first time working with the Demon deck, which was gifted to me. And if you weren't here, please go back to the first few minutes of the video where I go over the overall energy of these 3 cards. Basically, you've got the President of Hell, you've got this energy of magic and having like this broom as a vehicle to clean up the dust and move forward. And then you have this energy here of this demon that's like part angel, part owl, riding a wolf. And I just see him as kind of like slaying those things that no longer serve. So it's like most people have this either like internal projected energy of like this crazy demon, and you are just using your broom to ride out of this situation and cutting out the things that don't serve by standing strong, you know, with this aspect and element. So your demons are Markios, once of the angelic order of dominions, is now a Marquis of Hell with 36 military units under his command. He may appear as a wolf with eagle wings and the tail of a snake. Okay, so once an angel, now a demon. Okay. The other demons that you have are Buffonite, or toadstone, is a magical stone said to grow within the head of a live toad. The stone, harvested from a creature who was used as an ingredient in many poisons, was said to be a powerful antidote. Okay. And I'm going to give my own intuitive read as to like what's going on with these demons for you. Okay, so we're in group 3. You can go back to the beginning. This will be loaded soon if you missed it. We're doing a pick a card, 3 deck choices. What demons are holding you back from your highest success? And then we're doing a few tarot cards to clarify, as well as an oracle, Work Your Light oracle to kind of go and help to neutralize. So Abigor is a fallen angel and Duke of Hell. He is described by demonographers as a handsome knight carrying a lance and standard, having 60 military units under his command. Interesting. I'll tell you why in a minute. And your last demon for this group is Vual, also transcribed as Wal or Uval, was once the angelic order of powers and is now a Duke of Hell in command of 36 military units. He appears in the form of a dromedary. Okay, wow. All right, so like none of the other ones that we've pulled so far have actually talked about being a fallen angel. And 3 of these 4 are fallen angels. That's a lot. So 3 out of the 4 cards are fallen angels, and 1 is talking about being used for potions and magic as being the antidote now. So what I intuitively feel for you, whoever chose this, like what demons are holding you back is that either yourself or somebody that you're dealing with right now is like a fallen angel. Someone that used to be, filled with spiritual light, was working to service humanity and do good and be good for people, has now turned their path into one of destruction, one that might encompass, the type of behaviors or activities that you would think of, a fallen angel being. But you have this kind of antidote card showing up here. So it's like you or the other person that you're dealing with might be the antidote to what's going on here. You know, so I feel like if you feel like you've gotten off of track, like if you might have been working completely in the light and lately you're struggling with addictions, or you're struggling with toxicity, or you're struggling with mental health, or you're struggling with those negative thought patterns or intrusive thoughts, is what I'm feeling is being called here. Or if you're struggling with some type of like codependency with another person, or even dependency on drugs or alcohol or food or that type of thing, you know, the antidote is working on the same thing that brought this to happen. So if there's been some type of situation in your life that has brought about, suffering and pain to the point that, toxicity is coming, and you are in this place of light and doing all these positive things, and now you are um involved in darker waters, you're involved in things that aren't serving your highest potential. The antidote is to look at how this situation got poisoned to begin with. And if you're dealing with somebody else that used to be like full of light, and is now a fallen angel, somebody that's moved from being an angel to being a demon, um, you might need to look at also like what poisoned the situation, and you might have to take a step back and see. I'm going to clarify and see if I can get more understanding with the tarot here. Let me get some clarification through the tarot here. What does group number 3 need to hear? What does group number 3 need to hear? Okay. All right. So for some of you guys, it's like it's a king. It's like another person in your scenario that the King of Cups can be known to be not emotionally balanced. So I think that in this particular reading, we're seeing a few things happening. So all of these fallen angels, all of these demons now that used to be angels, are a consequence of an over emotional person. This person could be manipulative now. This person could be narcissistic, and it could have turned someone that's very light into darker waters because of codependency. Like there was some type of decision, a crossroads, and for some people here, it was an actual physical death, losing somebody that caused this. For some, it was a death that caused this. For some, there was heartbreak. I see for a few of you, and I know this is really heavy, but there even could have been somebody took their life over or heartache. And I know somebody needs to hear that. And I know that that's not most of you, but it's really heavy, but it's just a reality. For some of you, turning from behaving in the best light to behaving in a place of more darkness is just more relative or relevant to just that heartache in general. And sometimes people close their heart off to love. And when you close your heart off to love because you've been hurt too much, you could be sour, you could start behaving in different ways. For other people, this is just also like highlighting that there was some type of um, third party energy in love, that type of thing. And that is either showing up to say that this is that other person that's, a fallen angel 3 times, or that, maybe your behavior has been toxic since you found out about this, or since you found out about somebody's death. You made that decision to not be so um, lighthearted anymore. Your emotions are really crazy right now after these kind of heavy experiences. All right. And some of you, this won't resonate at all. If it doesn't, then let it go. Okay. But yeah, I feel like that's a message for some people. And I definitely think, like, if you've experienced those things, that counseling, spiritual insight, meditation, journaling, dancing, getting into healing waters, doing things that are positive for you will help to combat those demons. Again, this is like a reading to say, what's holding you back, looking at the shadow side, the shadowscape. For those of you that are just joining, we did a pick a card. So there's 3 different choices, like 3 different piles to choose from. And we're in the last card of the last one. So I will be uploading this. So if you like and subscribe, you can watch it after. Okay. So your oracle, group number 3, is share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. So this is what, I was just kind of echoing, come out, talk about it. When we suppress our pain, we suppress our feelings, we end up in sabotaging kind of activities and momentum sometimes when we aren't given the proper tools to deal with grief, deal with, some type of misaligned element in our life, or something brutal that's happened, or something, just negative in general. I believe everyone should have people to speak to, professional and friends alike, and just having good, solid tools, meditation, um, some type of physical activity that helps you get into your body. When we exercise, we pull stress out of the organ systems and into the muscles. Grounding practices like yoga and meditation. I work with supplements and herbs and all that jazz too. So all of these elements, and just seeking counsel in general when you're going through all of this, because you don't need to carry that all on your own. You need to get out of that cave, and you need to share what's going on so that others can help you process all of this. So thank you so much for those of you that have participated in watching. This is the first time I've ever worked with a demon deck, which was gifted to me. And I just thought it would be a good idea to share, moving out of those energies of fear and just kind of confronting the things that are there, and understanding how to see them as a tool and a vessel to work in our highest capacity and our greatest light, so that we can invite that light, so we can invite joy, and that we don't become paralyzed or stagnant, and miss out on our highest potential because of these things, because everyone's got that shadow side and that light. So much love to all of you. Again, if you'd like a personal reading, the link will be added below. I'm going to go over this and do timestamps before I upload it. And there also will be a link for a free pick a card. Again, please like, subscribe, leave me comments. And if you know somebody that's struggling right now, or just want to share with friends, because everybody's got struggles. There's nobody that is above struggling. But at the same time, some of this has been, I feel like, depending on which group you choose, some of them are pretty heavy, and some are a little lighter. So sit with your intuition. When you go back to the beginning, those of you that are just tuning in, please just sit with it and see what you feel called to. And again, I'd love to know what you think about this. So much love and light, And I hope this helps bring some type of illumination so that you can work on, yeah, just having the most joy filled, abundant, and like healthy, clear path that you can.